Here we are with the active transport. We have discussed the type of the carrier proteins of the active transport, and now here the two types of the active transport, that is primary active transport and the secondary active transport. Primary active transport is the transport of the substances across the membrane which require energy but which is directly liberated from the ATP, and ATP is broken down into the ADP and high energy phosphatidine. This primary active transport is transporting the ions like sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, hydrogen. All these ions are transported across the membrane. So what is the best and most important example here is the sodium potassium pump. Sodium potassium pump is actually transporting the sodium ions from inside to the outside and potassium from outside to the inside of the cell. It is very important because it is developing the resting membrane potential in the cell, and this sodium potassium pump is present in every cell of the human body. So what is the structure of this sodium potassium pump? Sodium potassium pump consists of alpha and beta subunits. Alpha subunit consists of further 6 sites, but beta subunit has its role but it is not confirmed yet. So what this alpha subunit consists of? It consists of 6 sites. The 3 sites for the sodium receptors which is present inside, that is toward the cytoplasm, and 2 for the potassium receptors, and here is the one which is for ATP. ATP is required in this process because whenever the ATP is broken down, the 2 molecules, that is adenosine diphosphate and the phosphate ions, are released. So what's the working of this sodium potassium pump? When these sodium ions, these are the sodium ions which are present inside of the cell. These are the sodium ions. So these ions, when comes in contact with these receptors present inside of the cell toward the cytoplasm, when they get attached, they activate the enzyme called ATPase. This ATPase enzyme convert ATP into ADP plus phosphatidine. So this high energy molecule then will bring a conformational change in this protein carrier. So there will be the conformational change and the sodium ions are transported from the inside to the outside of the cell, and the 2 potassium ions are transported from outside to the inside of the cell. This is how the sodium potassium pump works. So whenever there is an abnormality in this pump, there is a sodium potassium pump, like in myocardial infarction or myocardial failure. These sodium potassium pumps are also present in the renal tubules. Whenever there will be the more absorption or there is a problem in the receptors of this pump, there will be the more absorption of the sodium, which results in the condition we called hypertension, which is very common these days. So these are the 2 abnormalities. There are other we will discuss later in different topics, but here the 2 abnormalities which are related to this pump are cardiac failure and hypertension.